AITA for not returning my inherited apartment. My brother 37 Menon got married about 11 years ago. Unfortunately, 6 years ago, there was a tragedy, and my Sil passed in an accident and left my 20-month-old nephew. At that time, I, 29F, was working in SF. I asked the company I worked for if I could transfer to their one-time location, and was able to do so. I moved in with my brother. He stopped working to spend time with his kid. I did my best to help. I paid the rent and groceries. I tried to keep the meals going when I came from work. I didn't mind, as I really loved coming home to my nephew and the rent was really cheap. The fact was that my Sil had inherited a rent-stabilized apartment from her parents after they retired and moved to a cheaper area about 1.5 hours from NYC. The rent was only 1,450 parmich is for a 2-bed that was over 1,000 to 6Q in Manhattan's Upper East Side. Anyhow, when my nephew was going to start school, my parents convinced my brother to move back to Toronto and live with them. I took over the lease to his apartment as I was legally allowed to since I had lived there for a few years. It's been over 3 years and he started working. My nephew started school. He met a new partner, and he seemed like he was building a life again. Last week, my brother told me that he, his GF, and my nephew will be returning to NYC, so he has requested to have his apartment back. I told him no, because my fiancé and I were also planning to move in together, and we had already made some really nice updates with a view to this being a long-term home for us. He would also have to live with me for 2 years before I could transfer the lease, so I would have to delay my wedding. He told me that I was for stealing his apartment and not letting him rebuild his life and allowing his child to move back into his mom's and grandparents' apartment, that my nephew should technically inherit it. He says he signed the lease over to me so that he didn't lose the apartment. His previous wife's parents say, I am taking advantage of an unfortunate situation. Now I am thinking I should reconsider, as perhaps I am being since my fiancé and I could afford to pay a lot more rent, without it being as difficult as it would be for my brother.